the stream sorted and everything going while we can. Just a bit of fun tonight, to be fair. We'll see how we get on. Well, see how everyone else gets on. Be interesting what we refer to everyone as. Do we just say Mrs. Bluey, Miss Powers, Miss Ethan? Nah, we know Moosey, and then we'll go Ethan's biggest fan, and then we'll go, I don't even know. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. But nonetheless, hey there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're here for the APPF1 WAG races, which if you don't know stands for Wives and Girlfriends, which is just a bit of fun really. Get the missus on the sim and see how they do. We're at Spa, probably the worst. Actually, nah, to be fair, probably one of the better choices you could have to have them around. Like, it's obviously not going to be the best with Eau Rouge and Poo-on and corners like that, so it's definitely going to be a challenge, but it's better than the likes of Monaco, etc., which are definitely a lot less forgiving than the circuit of Spa. Which, yeah, well, we've got a whole 4 people on the grid tonight. We've got Moosey, Mrs. Bluey, Mrs. G-Man, and then Mrs. Ethan, all lined up on the grid, and looking to get racing. A lot of them probably have never touched this game before, and I would not be too surprised at all if they haven't. I know Moosey, yeah, she's a little sweat, so you know, if she's slow, she's got no excuse, so she should win. If not, we can all we can all take the mick out of her for it being the one with the most practice and being the slowest, but we don't talk about that. 5 laps around Spa, probably going to take about 3 hours to complete, and probably 4 different sets of tyres. Is damage on? I don't know, I don't think so. We go to 5 at red lights though. And we're underway and racing for the WAG race. It's a great start from Moosey, to be fair to her. She's coming down into turn 1 completely unchallenged. There's Mrs. Bluey going down the inside though, and Mrs. Ethan's been caught out there as they go on the run up the hill towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Here is Mrs. G-Man on the back of Mrs. Bluey. Let's see what they can do. Moosey then with a commanding lead of 8/10. Oh no, she spun it up Eau Rouge. Nearly, oh, well held Bluey. Then up the inside, coming onto the camel straight, has to abort to the grass to be able to avoid Moosey there. And Miss Bluey very, very close to contact as they come towards, I believe, I always forget this name, the name of this corner, but it's the first chicane at the end of the camel straight. Moosey having a nightmare there, messing it all up, and Mrs. Bluey trying to set up the nice little cutback. She's got it coming down towards, I believe, to be Ravage, but can't quite do it. Moosey sends it under brakes, getting it very nicely stopped and just carrying the speed around the outside compared to everyone else. Mrs. Ethan having a bit of a mare further back, trying to get onto the back of him, but just plain out understeer. This is a nice little battle going on between G-Man and Bluey though, as they come towards Poo on them for the first time. Let's see how they fare. Moosey very sideways and nearly coming onto the track, mounting the curb, the very high curb on the inside there, but Mrs. G-Man on the back of Mrs. Bluey. Can they send it there? No, not quite, as they come through into Campos, I believe, for the first time of 5. And then heading towards Stavlo 1. Moosey's lost a lot of time because of that. She's quick, but can she gain it back up? Bluey having a nice little defensive move there to cover off Mrs. G-Man, but they're on the run now. This back straight towards Blanchimont in the slipstream, in the ERS. Here comes G-Man then towards the inside of the corner, but isn't going to send it into Blanchimont and probably going to opt to go under braking. Not a lot of overtaking going on, but very, very close between these two. And Moosey really, really struggling to go. She's really, really twitchy on the steering. Can Mrs. G-Man do anything? She's going to send it around the outside, but not quite going to be able to convert on Bluey, who's still hanging in front. Big slide from Mrs. G-Man though to not be able to do that. Oh, it looks as though they've had a bit of a tussle back here. Mrs. Ethan and Moosey having a bit of a tangle. She's had a massive collision with Moosey there as they end lap run, and that is Mrs. Ethan onto the podium. Can they replicate the success that Ethan's been having recently in the Sunday night sprints? Goes very deep into La Source though, definitely less than ideal as the all-round turn 1 for the second time. Moosey knows what she needs to do. She's got the ERS up the hill. Can she keep it a bit cleaner this time though? Complete wash of understeer. She's bottled up Eau Rouge. I knew she would. And there she is into the barrier, resetting very, very quickly onto track. It's almost as if she'd practiced that one for a while. But here's Mrs. G-Man then on the back of Bluey through this corner then. Powerful to the first sector goes Mrs. G-Man as they head towards Ravage for the second time. Very off-cambered corner, got to stay tight, and Mrs. G-Man really getting the message there, but Bluey managing to carry the maximum minimum speed she could through there, but goes a little bit wide through No Name, has to go defensive-ish towards Poo-On, but not really the biggest overtaking opportunity. Will they do a Moosey? No, they won't. They're all going to keep it clean and keep it tidy through Poo-On. Big man at the curb though from Bluey as I say that, and this is going to allow G-Man the run on the outside. Oh, bit of contact between the two as they head towards campus for the second time. Absolute carnage going on here. Big, incredible scenes going on. And towards Savlo, very late under brakes for Mrs. G-Man, just trying to find the grip, trying to find where they can be quick. 119.5 to the middle sector, probably could go quicker in a GT3 car, but we don't talk about that. Purple middle sector again for Mrs. G-Man, and once again in the slipstream towards the bus stop chicane. What can they do? Through Blanchimont, nearly flat usually, but a bit of a safety lift for the wives and girlfriends towards the bus stop, then has a little look to the inside, but isn't going to be able to brake late enough and use the maximum allowance for energy recovery system so far on this lap as they come towards lap 3. This is where DRS is going to be enabled. This is when it's going to get interesting. G-Man with the fastest lap coming towards the source for the third time, braking just before the 100. Very nicely done. Not the most committed on the brakes. There's yellow flag actually sector 3 as Mrs. Ethan's been given a 2-second time penalty. Moosey's completely bottled it through Blanchimont, but as they go up the hill through Eau Rouge for the third time, ERS enabled up the hill. Bluey bit shaky up the hill through Radion, and then onto the Camel Straight. DRS enabled the drag reduction system, giving them that 20 kbh extra. Are they actually going to be able to make the move then to the inside towards the chicane, but isn't going to be able to convert? Has to tuck back in, unfortunately, and Bluey going to hang on for the time being. The miss is really doing him proud up in front. I've heard he's quick. Oh no! There's G-Man into the wall, off towards the wall just before Ravage, and Bluey's misses really showing him up. I've heard talks that Bluey's misses is a lot quicker than himself, but we don't talk about that. She is dominating up in front at the moment, and G-Man having to really push to stay with her. 1.7 seconds now is the gap between the two. Very spread out now as Mrs. Ethan is 20 seconds nearly off the back, and I should say Moosey is very far back. 8 seconds off Miss Ethan there, completely disregarding Ravage as a corner, just straight lining it as much as she can. But Mrs. G-Man catching onto the back of Bluey pretty quickly. Looks like they have found a bit of pace to come and catch. These sector times ain't far off mine. Pal's cheering on Moosey for strange reason. I don't know why you'd be cheering on Moosey. She never cheers on you. She always thinks you're going to spin, so. But DRS enabled for G-Man once again. Or I should say G-Woman. Should we say G-Woman? G-Lady. Bluey though with the fastest lap of the race. Mrs. Patterson. Oh, that's boring though. Mrs. Ethan sounds a lot better. But G-Lady going then up the hill through Eau Rouge and up Radion in the DRS of Miss Bluey in front. The drag reduction system enabled as they head towards the chicane. Braking very nicely does G-Lady out on the back of Miss Bluey. Down towards Ravage. Got to keep it tight. Both doing a remarkable job here. Both like actually doing some decent lap times, to be fair. But Miss Bluey up 3 places. Started at the back of the grid. Now first. Moosey went the complete flip opposite. And Mrs. Patterson, if we're going to be boring, with a 6-second penalty. But Miss Bluey goes very deep. This could give G-Lady the chance to go up the inside, maybe into Campos if they have a look. Unfortunately, not going to be able to. Very late under brakes is G-Lady. But Miss Bluey goes in a bit deep as well. We're on to the penultimate lap of the race. They need to make the moves. Not too confident with the overtaking then. It seems the misses are. Through sector 2 then. Very nicely done. Still going improvement and finding grip every lap. Now in the slip. Heading towards Blanchimont, really gaining in excess of nearly 200 miles an hour. Flat through Blanchimont now. They've gained the confidence. Mrs. Bluey to the inside. This is G-Lady then looking to the outside. Bit of contact between the two. Is going to be sent in deep. Oh, managed to get it stopped. Still managed to get it stopped, does Mrs. Bluey. And then DRS enabled on the run towards La Source. We're on to the final lap of 5 now here at Spa for the WAG race, or the WAG race. Into La Source. Got to use that camber on the inside. Very nicely done from G-Lady. Got to keep it to the right hand side, coming up towards Eau Rouge. Moosey catching onto the back of Mrs. Patterson. Bit shaky up Radion. This could give G-Lady the run to the outside. Drag reduction enabled. A bit of contact as they pass through, but finally got the move done, has G-Lady. Can Mrs. Bluey do anything about it? This could be pretty close towards the chicane then for the 5th and final time. Got to stay committed. Goes in a bit deep, and G-Lady finally deciding to take off, using that pace that she has and flying off towards the distance. Into Ravage, goes in a bit deep. So has to keep it control, but Mrs. Bluey really... To be fair to them, they're all doing a remarkable job. We'll go on board with Mrs. Patterson as she, well, speaks for itself, really. Gets it going nicely. Can Moosey overtake her now after that spin? She is closing. But isn't quite going to be able to close enough. And G-Lady far off into the distance, already through Campos, now into Stavolo on the final lap. And Mrs. Bluey now only just coming through Campos and towards Stavolo, unfortunately. So that battle was long-lived, but as soon as G-Lady got past, she just flew away. But can Moosey catch Mrs. Patterson? Then any more bottles and Moosey will be back onto the podium. She's definitely going to use the excuse that she's not on a wheel, she's on a pad. And she'd probably just stick to reciting the dictionary. I think she'd do a better job of that than this. But there is G-Lady then crossing the line to take the win ahead of Mrs. Bluey. 5.3 seconds was the gap between the two. It was an incredibly close battle all the way up until the last lap where G-Lady finally got the move done. Can Moosey catch Patterson? Through Stavolo, no. 4 seconds in pretty much a straight line, separated by 3 corners, is going to be a big ask. So will Miss Patterson cross the line to take the podium place? All they need to do is keep it clean through bus stop, brake late, send it completely cut. Oh no, but she does have a penalty, so Moosey just needs to stay within 2 seconds. Very wide goes Mrs. Patterson and across the line to finish third on track, but Moosey will take it after penalties across the line to finish third. Very, very nice race. And driver of the day going to Mrs. Bluey, up the most positions, and very well done. And there they go then, taking a well-deserved champagne bottle. And celebrating in due course after a fantastic bit of racing. Moosey may have needed a stepping stool to get onto the podium. Moosey sweating. But there we go then. G-Lady takes the win ahead of Mrs. Bluey, and then Moosey in third, with Mrs. Ethan or Mrs. Patterson coming home in P4. Yeah, it was a great race from all the wags. And well done, of course, to G-Lady for taking the win ahead of Mrs. Bluey. who has probably now rubbed it in his face that she's quicker. And yeah, of course, we'll look forward to the Sprint Championship next week, April 11th. April 11th. It will start. The first round of Season 2 is going to get underway, the Sprint Championship. If you want to catch up on any of the Sprint Championships, they're all uploaded, and you can go ahead and watch a few of them. Some really memorable moments across the season. Only 12 rounds, of course, because of the 2-race format. But I hope you did enjoy, and do make sure to look out for the My Team Career Mode coming soon. It's a new series that's coming out, so I hope you all have enjoyed, and I will catch you all next time. Goodbye.